Hey everybody, and welcome back to the show. We got a great one for you today. For all of my EV people out there that have either just gotten an EV or you're thinking about getting an EV, this podcast is for you because we're going to cover something that is on the minds of every person that, especially if you've just gotten an EV of any sort, whether it be a Tesla or not. We're going to cover charging your vehicle and what's the best way to do that? How are you going to be able to accomplish that? This is the video for you. So be sure to stick around and watch it all the way through to the end because it's going to be packed with quite a bit of information that you absolutely need to know if you're going to own this EV. Stick around. Don't forget to look in the description below to see how you can get some great discounts on Tesla accessories. Like and subscribe. I'll see you back in just a moment. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the show. As promised, this is for those folks that have either just bought an EV or is thinking about getting an EV, but you know what? You don't know where and how you're going to charge this thing, nor what's the best way to do it. And so we're going to tackle that problem and several others, especially as to, how to do it the most cost effective, which I think is the most important part for a lot of folks. So we're going to cover all that and more. So right now, I'm here with my buddy, Tone Love.
Red Fire, what's going on, bro?
What's happening?
Yeah, listen, happy to be here.
So, do you own an EV?
I do not own an EV yet. When I do, it will probably be something...
Tesla.
Right. I think, with the full self-driving, I don't know. I'm kind of partial. I'm partial with Porsche,
Macan man.
We had to talk about that. But it just depends on the home charging situation,
Yeah, and so that's what we're going to cover today. So I know you don't know too much about, a lot about EVs. You've hung around them a little bit now.
Right.
Got a chance to.
But the charging side, I'm not as strong in because it's like, I know that you have to install a home charger, but if you're not a home owner, I'm just wondering, how do you handle that?
Well, there's several ways to handle that, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So those that want the cheapest way to charge a vehicle with the lowest upfront cost, most cost-effective way to do this is going to be through the use of the Tesla Supercharger network. And if you don't know what that is, especially if you don't have a Tesla, that's okay. We're here to educate you on that one.
Yes, educate. Listen, tune in closely. So
let's say you've bought your Porsche Macan. So we're going to stay away from Teslas because all my Tesla folks, you're going to get a pretty good schooling real fast as soon as you buy it on this. But for the non-Tesla folks, this is actually quite important. Okay. They're probably unfamiliar. So we're talking Mercedes, Kias. I don't know about GMs yet. Yes, GMs. And Porsches. Did I say Porsche?
Oh.
Okay. So you have different ways of charging it away from home, okay?
Okay.
And you have regular chargers and you have superchargers. And the reason why they call them as such is kind of like the old standard definition television versus HD TV versus 4K TV. Okay. Technically, HD is HD and 4K is HD, but
right.
There's a difference between...
It's like higher definition.
Right. And so televisions come in different formats. And the same thing applies to charging. I think in one of our previous videos, we talked about the nomenclature in terms of learning a new language when it comes to EVs. We speak in kilowatt-hours. 100 watts would be like your old incandescent light bulb that you screw in your house. That's a 100-watt bulb. 1 kilowatt is 1,000 watts. So that would be like 10 light bulbs.
Right.
So that's 1 kilowatt, okay? So when we're talking about the amount of energy, we're talking about how many kilowatts will you use in an hour, and that's what we call kilowatt hours. It's a measure of how much energy that's either being used or will be used, okay? Right. So try not to get...
In a given time period, particularly an hour.
Exactly, in a given time period. So when we talk about the capacity of a battery, we refer to it in kilowatt hour terms. So if I say it's a 100 kilowatt hour battery, that means if you're burning 1 kilowatt, you can do it for 100 hours. If you're burning 10 kilowatts because you're going really, really fast, you're only going to be able to do it.
A tenth of that.
Correct. The chargers come in different flavors. You have the original Superchargers that were 75 kilowatt chargers, which meant if it charged at its maximum rate, it would give you 75 kilowatt hours in 1 hour.
Right.
Okay. Many of your batteries, specifically on the Model Y, the Model 3, things of that nature, and like the Kia EV6, Porsche, maybe not the Porsche Macan, but most of those are around 80 kilowatt hours, somewhere in that neighborhood, 75, 80 to 82, somewhere in that range. That's where you're generally going to be. So if I were to hook you up to a 75 kilowatt charger, in theory, you would be almost fully charged from 0 to 100 in 1 hour.
Right.
Okay. Doesn't work like that in reality. I know some of my EV veterans are going to freak out over what I just said. I understand the charging curve. Believe me, I'm keeping it simple right now. That's all.
Right.
Correct.
For sake of conversation, we're keeping it basic.
We're keeping it basic.
We get it.
Just know that the charging rate is not linear. Just because you hook up to a 75 kilowatt charger, you're not going to get that the whole time. There's what's known as a charging curve. And it may start out at 75 kilowatt, it may not, but it'll come down over time. And that's really to protect against degradation of the battery. And that's the reason it happens. So for the sake of conversation, we're just assuming that
75 flat.
Keep in mind, 75 kilowatts is considered a supercharger. Tesla and others not only just have 75 kilowatt chargers, they have 125 kilowatt, they have 250 kilowatts, and Tesla in particular has a 325 kilowatt charger.
Wow.
Okay, so it scales up from there. And you can tell, from my Tesla folks, you can tell in the app on your screen what they are when you click on the icon. It tells you what speed it's going to charge at. A lot of people are familiar with miles per hour. How many? That's another measure of that they've come up with to tell you how fast to charge it. It'll say you can charge 100 miles in an hour. It's not how fast the supercharger is running away from you. It's actually saying it charges at 100 miles per hour, which means you're going to get 100 miles
worth of energy in 1 hour.
Correct.
Which could change depending on the vehicle.
And the person, depending on how fast they drive.
Fast,
we don't really like using that measure, but they came up with that measure just to help out the common consumer, because they can understand that a little bit better. But it's not terribly accurate.
Right. Well, it's like when you jump in your car and it says, "Oh, you have 50 miles to E." That's how me and my people we measure. We measure how many miles is left on that. We don't look at the E and the F so much. You look at, okay, I got 50 miles left. When I get the dash, maybe I'll go get some gas.
Can you put $20 in it?
It depends on how far I'm going. It may be 6. 2 gallons, 25 miles to the gallon. Yeah,
I think you'll get halfway there on a tow truck.
True.
So they have different speeds on the charger. So whenever you go to a charger, you decide to go to a charger, be sure to look up to see exactly what the charging speed is, because not all of them are equal. And I know that for a fact because we're here in Atlanta. For my Atlanta folks, I help you out with this one. The Supercharger that's down in Atlantic Station, it's a 75 kilowatt charger on some of them. Others are 250 kilowatts. And so it really depends on where you're at. And if we go around town, some of them are 325 kilowatts. Keeping in mind, I say 325 kilowatts, but most Teslas, okay, so every Tesla in the US right now, outside of the Cybertruck, has a maximum speed of 250 kilowatts. That's as fast as they can charge. The Cybertruck is the only one that can take advantage of 325 kilowatts. Tesla is changing that with some of the newer cars that are coming off the line. They'll be able to charge a little bit faster. There are other vehicles that do charge faster and can take advantage of that 325 kilowatt. Okay. So if yours doesn't do it, don't panic. There's nothing wrong with it. That's just the maximum charge rate of your vehicle. Let's talk about the pricing. Okay. The pricing is done in most cases by the kilowatt hour. Okay.
Right.
So they charge by kilowatt hour. Now, we got into a little bit of this when we were talking about the solar panel videos. If you're interested in the solar panels, you can go ahead and check out that video right here. I highly recommend it. Go check it out.
Yeah.
But we charge by the kilowatt hour.
We pay by the kilowatt hour.
Yes, we pay by the kilowatt hour. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tesla charges, or everybody else charges by the kilowatt hour.
You got to pay by the kilowatt hour.
Correct. In 95% of the cases. There are some exceptions to this, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Most cases, on the Tesla supercharging network, it's going to be anywhere between 20 cents per kilowatt hour and 35 cents per kilowatt hour if you're in the Southeast, okay? I understand out there in California and some spots in the Northeast, you guys have a little bit higher rates. Too bad, so sad. Sorry for it, but I get it. The reason why I'm utilizing Tesla is because some of the other charging stations, they do have superchargers, but they charge a much different rate. Okay. And the main reason behind that is because the amount of money that Tesla makes from the supercharging network is minuscule in comparison to how much money they make on the vehicles and everything else they going on. So their main thing is not charging. They've built an incredible charging network, but that's not their main source of income. For these other networks like ChargePoint, EVgo, Charge America. That's all they do.
Right.
Okay.
That's their bread and butter. So they got to charge a little premium because that's the only stream of income.
Correct. So in general, they're going to charge more money than the Tesla supercharger network. If you don't own a Tesla, then if you join the Tesla charging network, I understand there's a fee per month. Quite frankly, I'm not too familiar with it because I never do it. There's a small fee, but it's worth it.
Because you guys have the more superchargers on the network than anywhere else.
Correct. Tesla's, I promise you, this is not a commercial for Tesla. Okay. I promise you this. I know what it sounds like. I really do. But I can only give you the truth here.
Full disclosure. We are not getting paid by Tesla or anyone else. Not Porsche, not Tesla, not Georgia Power. Definitely not Georgia Power.
Oh, wait. You got yourself in trouble last time with Georgia Power.
That's what I'm saying. They're definitely not paying us. It's definitely not a Georgia Power endorsement.
I'm just trying to give you the facts the way they are right now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's not a Tesla commercial. I promise. I don't make any money from Tesla. Any case.
Yet.
No. Tesla in general has the cheapest prices all the way around. Okay. And that's because their main thing is not charging. They also have the most robust network in the nation. And quite frankly, if you look at their uptime, they have the most chargers that stay up and maintenance free the most. So when you roll up to a Tesla Supercharger, you know what you're going to get. Almost all the chargers will be working. They sometimes have one or two that's down. It'll tell you ahead of time. But in general.
Oh, so they tell you ahead of time anyway.
Yes. You can see which ones are broken.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that scare me with EVs. And I'm sure a lot of people, you guys go, think about this. It's like, see, we're accustomed to gas stations. So if you're going on a road trip, even if you're in a mountain somewhere, for the most part, you're going to find a gas station eventually. I mean, you don't wait till it gets to dash, but, sometimes I will push my limits, but that there's a gas station. But in your mind, you're like, I don't see EV stations. So I'm a little scared about traveling, outside, my metro area. I guess joining a Tesla network would be advantageous because they have more chargers and it make you kind of subside a little bit that feeling.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny you should mention that. I took my truck out to Colorado Springs. I drove it all the way from Atlanta to Colorado Springs. No problems. And we actually went up to Pike Peaks together.
Yeah.
And
great time.
Yeah.
Well, until I ran out of oxygen.
Might want to check those oxygen levels again.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Pikes Peak was an incredible adventure. But guess what? We were able to do it in an EV. And quite frankly, EVs are more suited for that type of driving because you use all the energy going on the way up, but then you reclaim it all on the way down.
Yeah.
And you're not burning your brakes. So there's that. But I digress. Back to charging. Here's the thing, right? So you go to charge your vehicle at different times of the day. And unlike at a gas station, you pay different rates depending on the time of the day that you're going. So if you're going in the middle of the daytime when electricity usage is high, you're going to pay more per kilowatt hour.
Right, peak hours, just like our power bill.
Correct, just like power bill. And so in the middle of the daytime in the Southeast on a Tesla Supercharger, it may be as high as 35 cents per kilowatt hour.
Wow.
Yeah. Keep in mind, EVgo and all those other guys, the lowest I've seen is 45 cents per kilowatt hour. That's even in the lowest of periods. I have seen in the Atlanta area, Tesla Superchargers after 10 or 11 o'clock at night as low as 11 cents per kilowatt hour to charge your vehicle.
Wow.
Which is pretty darn low, truth be told. But like I said, I've not seen EVgo, ChargePoint, or Electrify America. I've not seen anybody under 45 cents per kilowatt hour. Usually during the peak periods, they're going up to 65 cents per kilowatt hour. So it can really make a huge difference based upon where you're charging at. And I know if you subscribe to a couple of those networks, they do give you some discounts. So you can go ahead and look into that as well. So my Kia friends, Mercedes, you might want to look into that.
And when you buy an EV, sometimes they'll give you like a discount on certain networks and things like that, right?
Sometimes, yes. It really depends on the vehicle that you get and what network is on. Like, for instance, I know Tesla on an occasion will give away free supercharging for a year, 2 years. Right. On occasion, they do give it away for life. So there's that.
Supercharging for life.
Yeah, free gas for life.
Free gas for life. Can you imagine? Free fuel, free power for life. Georgia Power, take notes.
They do that. Sometimes Mercedes may come out with a deal or something along those lines. They'll work something out, but in general, that's what it is. So yeah, Tesla definitely has the most robust. That is by far the cheapest way to charge your vehicle when you're on the road. And as I said, usually the Tesla Superchargers are in very convenient locations. Shout out to Buc-ee's.
Okay.
Yes, Buc-ee's and Superchargers go together.
Right. Well, I know in Atlanta, I think I've seen Tesla chargers over at Perimeter Mall.
Yes. Perimeter Mall, Atlantic Station, Targets, Walmarts. Yeah. I know there are a lot of people concerned about where these chargers are located. Quite frankly, I can tell you with a fair amount of certainty, almost always the Tesla Superchargers are going to be in very safe locations. I think it's in their charter when you sign up with them, that's going to be in a pretty safe, and it's got to have certain amenities.
So you're saying that Tesla chargers aren't in the hood?
I'm saying that if you happen to be in a specific location that your safety isn't exactly in question.
Okay. So you're saying that they're being questioned in the hood?
I didn't say that. I've not seen any in my hood, and I am in the hood. I'm in the hood.
You're in the hood?
I'm in the hood. There's none in my hood.
Don't listen to this guy.
So in general, there are certain stipulations and certain criteria certain superchargers must meet to be a locale, and it's usually in a pretty safe area. So you can feel okay about getting out of your car. I have been out in the middle of Nebraska supercharging. There's nothing out there but cornfields, but they're still superchargers, and they're in pretty nice locations. Go figure that one.
You won't be catching me out there. There or Utah.
Coincidentally enough, there are enough chargers that guys have pioneered enough to get to the Arctic Circle.
Wow.
Yes. If you look online, you can see some Cybertrucks up at the Arctic Circle. That's how they got there. They've put some chargers up that way for you to get there. Let's talk about charging at home, okay, and how that's different, okay? Charging at home is a little different. We don't have superchargers at home, okay? No such thing as a supercharger at your house, simply because the electrical infrastructure that is needed is, well, far too expensive, and your power company may not let you install it.
Georgia Power just being haters.
Having said that, I'm sure somebody in the comments below will post a picture of their supercharger at their house.
Right. I'm sure some anomaly, some exception, some Jimmy rig they've put together.
To it, I have no doubt.
Right.
But trust me, that's not the norm. In general, you're not going to be able to put a supercharger at your house, okay? Not saying it's impossible, but you're not doing it. So what does that leave you with? That leaves you with what's known as level 1 and level 2 chargers. And what are level 1 and level 2 chargers? A level 1 charger would be the equivalent of you running an electrical extension cord from your wall outlet in your house, your 115 volt wall outlet, running it out to your car, plugging it in.
That's level 1.
That's level 1.
Then level 2 must be the one that plugs to your dryer, the 225.
240.
240. Right. Yes, 240.
So level 2 would essentially be like a 240 outlet, your dryer outlet, as you said, and that will plug in. And believe it or not, level 2 can go up a little bit higher than that, okay? So if you have a wall charger, you can actually get a lot more speeds, anywhere between 11 kilowatts and 35 kilowatts, depending on your electrical system in your home. To do that, most of the Tesla chargers top out at around 11 kilowatts. But there are some chargers that allow for 35 kilowatts. They're few and far in between, but they do exist. Okay. So it would actually be a level 2 charger because it's, well, not a supercharger. So you can have up to a 35 kilowatt charger in your home. And this is going to be highly dependent upon the electrical circuitry in your home. And depending on how many charges you have, you really need to see an electrician over this because this is what's going to really dictate the speed of your vehicle. Now, when you're at home, you have a few different options here. As I said, you can have what's known as a mobile charger. And sometimes that comes with the vehicle, sometimes it doesn't. Other times you got to purchase it separately. They cost somewhere in the neighborhood of about $150 to $200, depending for a mobile charger. And really what it's for is to say if I were to go by your house and I was going to stay there and I needed to charge my car and there was no other place to charge it, I could drag that mobile charger and plug it into your house and steal all your electricity.
Right. It won't be during peak hours. Not with Georgia Power. See, keep my door closed. Don't be going in and out my door. Now, your mama used to do it back in the day. Don't be coming in and out my door, letting out all my air.
Yeah, well, you'd be charging my car.
Like, Mom, we don't even have AC. What are you talking about?
So yeah, so you can plug it into the wall and charge it up. The problem with that is, with that level 1 charger, it is very slow. I mean, it's really slow.
And level 1 is the wall charger, the
correct.
mobile wall charger. Okay.
It's the mobile wall charger. I mean, you're talking to fill up even a Model Y
At 80%.
to 80%. You could be talking 24 hours plus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not even that much. It's only like a couple, 2-3 kilowatts. That's all that wall charger is. Conversely, if you were to upgrade to the 240 kilowatt charger, you're going to be looking at speeds of about 6 kilowatts. So 6 kilowatts, you're going to be able to charge significantly faster than if you use your wall charger. You will be charging at something on the order, with 6 kilowatts, and you got to charge 60 kilowatts,
Right.
kilowatt hours. Then you got to charge 10 hours in order to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess when you have a mobile charger, you're in a mobile situation. It's just, I wouldn't say an emergency situation, but it's a temporary situation where you're actually going to go to a supercharger. You just need to get there.
That is the thought, but there are a significant number of people out there that utilize the mobile charger as their main charging. Their primary charging source, yes.
So if you're going to have an EV and you're not installing a wall charger and you just need a mobile charger, at least do a level 2.
Correct.
At least. Okay.
Get that 240 volt outlet installed at the very least, okay?
Okay.
That one is actually serviceable. So for most folks, keep in mind, most EVs are driven around the city. You're going to drive about 50 miles a day, somewhere in that neighborhood. So you're going to charge from 10 or 20% up to 80% usually. That's about where you're going to be most days. That 240 volt charger, you'll be charged in about 10 hours. So basically, when you're going to bed at night, you plug the car in, and then by the time you wake up in the morning, you'll have your car fully charged. In general, there's some exceptions to that. But if you're going to go to 100%, that's a whole other ballgame.
Right.
Yeah, so with the level 1 charger, that's just not going to happen. So don't do that.
It's going to be 24 hours to even fill it up. So you'll always starve your car. You're always going to be somewhere quarter tank, half tank, wondering whether or not you're going to make it to the next destination.
The only time it makes sense is like you said, if you're on the road and there's absolutely no other option and you're in the middle of the wilderness and you're not going anywhere for a day or so, plug it in.
Yeah.
Get an extension cord, plug it in. And oh, by the way, if you do get an extension cord on that level 1 charger, be sure it's a heavy duty grade extension cord because apparently the gauge of the extension cord will dictate your rate of charge with a level 1 charger.
Well, yeah, you need it thick enough where enough power can go through.
Correct. Yeah. But I've seen people try to use a little thin extension cord.
Don't go to the dollar store getting your... No. Don't charge your EV with a dollar store extension cord. It's just not smart.
So at the very least, go to Home Depot. No, we're not getting paid by Home Depot either. So Home Depot, Lowe's. I would even throw Walmart and Target in there. Yeah. Go to one of those places, get a very good thick gauge extension cord to charge the vehicle with. And you can throw it in there. But I would highly recommend using a 240 if it's available wherever you go. Yeah. Now, the next step up is the wall charger, okay? Now, the wall chargers are able to charge at around 11 kilowatts or a little bit more, depending on which one you get. All the ones from Tesla, I can tell you right now, it's going to be around 11 kilowatts. And even then, it may get limited based upon your electrical system in your home. So if you have an older home, your electrical panel may not support the wall charger. I mean, it'll work, but your speed may be limited. So be sure to check on that before you decide to go that route. So like in my house, I have a couple of different electrical panels and they're kind of tapped out, truth be told. So on one of my wall chargers, I have a 48 amp charger where it charges at the full 11 kilowatts. And on the other one, it only charges at 40 amps because of the limit of the panel, because it's an older panel.
Right.
So it's only going to charge at about somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 or 9 kilowatts. It's not a big difference, but
Hey, every kilowatt matters.
it'll make a difference of about an hour or so on the charge, something in that neighborhood. So,
And people, don't go get your homeboy, looking at your panel. Get a certified electrician. Do not cut corners on this because it could cost you in the long run.
that is absolutely true, because these chargers are really expensive sometimes. So to give you an idea, the wall chargers from Tesla, they're about $420 a piece, all right? And you can expect to pay that, give or take a couple $100 depending on what brand you get and all this. There are other chargers that you can buy. In fact, Georgia Power, shout out, they do sell some wall chargers. They do have things to sell. No, we don't get paid by them either.
Oh, we're not getting paid by them. Might get a cease and desist from them.
Exactly. But also keep in mind, you might want to contact your power company first, as they may have some rebates in your area. Not to mention the 30% federal tax rebate to have those kind of things installed, which are going away at the end of the year. Thank you,
December
Trump.
31st, 2025. Thank you, Trump administration, for that.
Actually, I don't know if that one's at the end of the year. I take that back. That might be September 30th.
Really? No, the September 30th I thought was the EV.
Charger.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I'd have to check on that one. Take a look at it. The different chargers are worth it at home. And now you can mount them inside your garage, or you can mount it outside. They are rainproof, so you can feel free to drag the cord outside and mount it there.
Are they hood proof?
No. They're not hood proof.
Wall chargers are is it a mobile charger? A wall charger you can put outside.
Correct.
You can mount it in your garage or you can mount it outside. The wall chargers are not hood proof. If you live in a hood, do not put your wall charger outside or you will never see it again.
Good news is it doesn't have copper like that.
Oh, so it may not be worth it to them.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Of course, there could be something in the cord. You can put the wall charger inside or outside, and so you can park your car inside or outside. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I have two of them. They're both in my garage, and I utilize both of them quite a bit. So they could, like I said, they cost between $420, $500 something a piece. Now, here's where the expensive part comes in at: hooking it into your electrical panel, because that can be anywhere between $500 and a few $1,000s, depending upon the run of the charger. In other words, how far the charger is from the panel and the electrician you use.
Right, because this money is going to your electrician.
Correct.
Right.
It can really vary depending on the run from the panel, and also depends on how old your electrical panel is, if there's any additional work that needs to be done. So at the very least, I would budget at least $1,000 total to put the wall charger in. And it could be, just realize it can be much as $3,000 or $4,000 depending on your setup, okay?
Wow.
So at home, once again, is it worth it to you? I say yes, because of the speed of the charger. But there are other people that have other concerns and they may not want to do that. They don't have the money to outlay that quickly. And they may want to go with the wall charger for a minute, which is the cheaper option, because most garages do have 115 volt AC plugs.
AC plug right inside the garage. Plug it up, plug your car up, keep it moving. Well,
Exactly.
keep it moving slowly because it takes 24 hours.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Those are the type of plugs that are available. Now, if you own an EV, okay, when you're charging at home, please, please, please go on to the EV plan with your electric company, or it's also better known as a time of use plan with the company. I do understand there are some electrical companies out there that do not have such a plan. The vast majority do, but there are a few out there that are just, well, they don't do that.
They're not EV friendly.
Not EV friendly. No, they're not. Be sure to do this. Now you say, okay, well, what is an EV plan? What's a time of use plan? I didn't even know I had a choice of plans.
Right. Well, we have a video for that.
We do have a video for that.
Yes.
We covered that once again in the solar panel video, I believe. But here's the long and short of it, what you need to know. Most places throughout the US and most consumers have a flat rate on their plans. One EV consumes almost as much power as your home does in a month, okay? Especially if you drive like I do.
Right.
You're going to easily double your electric bill on the regular flat rate plan,
Right.
which is kind of scary, truth be told.
Right. So you definitely want to change plans.
What the EV plan does for you is that it gives you a much lower rate after, say, 11 o'clock at night. Everybody's electrical company is different. They may have different times, they have different rates, but in general, around 11 o'clock at night to about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, you're going to get a much lower rate on your electricity bill per kilowatt hour. And what I mean by that is that here in Georgia, our rates average, after you add it all in, so don't hit me up with the base rates, people. I know what they are. Trust me. Here are the real rates when you get to the charging. They're about flat rate 17 cents per kilowatt hour, roughly. And when you go on to the time of use plan or the EV plan with Georgia Power, the rates go to 18 cents per kilowatt hour across the board. Well, you say, okay, well, that's 1 cent more expensive than the rest of the day. Why would I do that? The answer is because usually that's from 7 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. After 11 o'clock at night,
Drops down.
it drops to about 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour.
I thought it was 8.5, but yeah, 9.5. Even still, 9.5 cents versus,
It's cut almost in half.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, that's not just for the EV. That's for your whole home.
Right.
All right. If you're able to shift your power usage from the middle of the daytime to nighttime after 11, such as dishwasher, washer dryer.
Yep. Well, your dishwasher, your washer dryer, all your big appliances.
Correct.
Right.
You benefit from that as well. And so you're going to see a decrease in your electric bill. Keep in mind, you don't have to have an EV to do this. You can switch right now. You don't have to wait for the EV to come. You can do it right now, see how it works. If you don't like it in about a year, you change it back. But yes, it goes down. The only kicker to this is that in the middle of the summer, you have what's known as an on-peak period from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., where your rates go to somewhere around 40 cents per kilowatt hour.
Right. You want to stay away from daytime usage if you're on an EV plan, because although it's super cheap during the super off-peak periods overnight, it's going to be super expensive during on-peak hours. So you just got to be careful not to use it during on-peak hours. If you're not home anyway, perfect. If you're at work during the day, then it works out perfectly for you. You run your dishwasher just before you go to bed, do your laundry at nighttime, done deal.
That on-peak period is only during the summertime. So it's only during the months from June through September. Okay, so it's not all year. And once you get past September, then that period goes away. You go back down to between the 18 cents and the 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour. And that's really how it works. So it's designed for the EV. So you charge your EV up at night at about 9.5 cents per kilowatt hour, opposed to the Superchargers, which, like I said, the Supercharger at nighttime can be as low as 11 cents.
Right.
Or 15 cents. Believe it or not, you get used to going to sit at a Supercharger at night. But for the first 2 months I had the Cybertruck, I did not have a home charger at all. So I wound up sitting at the Supercharger a lot. So I understand what you're going to go through. And I'm here to tell you, it's not nearly as bad as you think. Yeah, you get there and guess what? Look, at 11 o'clock at night, what are you doing? In bed, watching TV,
social
on
media.
Facebook. Yeah.
Scrolling.
Yeah. Well, guess what you're going to be doing in a Tesla Supercharger? Scrolling, watching YouTube up on the screen, watching movies, TV, whatever. That's all you're doing. And by the way, because it's after 11 o'clock at night and everybody knows the rates go down, you're not alone.
Oh, wow. So other Tesla or other EV users out there.
Absolutely. All the EV users start coming out of the woodwork right around 11 o'clock at night.
The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night.
Exactly. So if you think you're going out there in the middle of the night, nobody's going to be there. You're going to be all there by yourself. You are way wrong.
But we had another video dealing with solar panels. And I'm wondering, is there like a mobile charger that is also attached to a solar panel that you could use?
The short answer is yes, but not worth it. And I'll tell you why. If you have a Cybertruck or if you have a Model Y and you do a lot of outback driving and camping and things of that nature, they're useful because the largest panel I've been able to find that I can fit in the car is 1 kilowatt.
1 kilowatt.
1 kilowatt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're planning on going to park your car all day in the sun, then you might get a little bit of a charge. It's enough to keep it from degrading, but I've seen people use these foldable panels that go all over the car and they park it for a long time. Like if you're going to park in an airport parking lot outside, might be useful, provided somebody doesn't try to steal your panels.
Right, right.
Airport's in the hood.
If the airport is in the hood, don't bring your solar panels.
So it's possible. How effective it is, I don't know. Please, if you guys have any solar panels, if you've used these to charge your vehicles, put it in the comments below. Let me know what your experiences are like with those, because I'm actually really curious about it. I've never tried it, but let's say you roll up to a Tesla Supercharger with your Porsche Macan. You get there and you go to plug it in. You know what your number one concern is?
Compatibility.
You got it. All right. So there are basically 3 different types of chargers out there. You have NACS, which is North American Charging Standard. That's the one that Tesla primarily uses. You have J1772, which that's a much bigger block, and it requires a different type of an adapter. And then you have CCS. They all look a little different. The CCS and the J1772 are kind of combined in one. That's the best way for me to put it. You have one, then you attach the other one, and that's the big one.
Okay.
But NACS is completely on its own. Okay. This does not affect charging speed. It's strictly
just the way it plugs in.
Correct.
It's just the configuration. It's almost like how Apple really had USB chargers, but they made their little adapter differently so that you would have to buy their version, but really it's just really USB.
However, let's call it the DVD wars. Remember when you had the DVD wars where you had the different standards, where you had HD DVD, you had Blu-ray DVD, you had DVD. You had all these standards competing, and people were buying these different DVDs, and well, now they can't play them, some of them on HD DVD. Blu-ray basically won out.
Right.
This is the same thing. NACS has won the adapter war.
Okay.
Okay, war's over. It's already game over. Although there's still a few stubborn holdouts.
Now, that's for North America, but is that the same over in Europe and Asia? They're
more on the J1772 standard for the most part.
Okay.
So you'll see a lot more of that over there. And in fact, some of the Teslas have some of those type of charging ports over there. But my understanding is some of that's changing. Okay. But over here in North America, it's going to be the NACS moving forward, mainly because Tesla took over, put all the charging stations in one. That's effectively what happened.
Okay.
So the other manufacturers have just acquiesced and said, okay, we're going to move over to NACS.
Now, is that through an adapter, or is that, are they just making them the new, if you're having an older car, then you're just fresh out of luck? How does that work?
There are different adapters that you can use. You can use one that comes from your manufacturer, which is recommended, or they have third-party adapters. I will say that if you're going to use a third-party adapter, be sure to do your homework on it. It's for your vehicle. Because I have noticed some of the adapters do not work with certain vehicles, and they do work with others. You can look at my other videos for an adapter for Tesla guys. You're going to charge at J1772. I do have a video for that if you check it out down in the description below, or check the channel.
Now, there's third-party designers who's making these adapters. Could it damage your vehicle?
Well, that's why you got to make sure that it's a reputable manufacturer. In most cases, I've not heard of or seen of anybody having damage, because in most cases, the car is going to cut it off before any kind of real damage happens. It won't let it happen. What I have seen more than anything else is that it just won't charge, or it's not charging at the proper rate that it should be charging. I've seen that more than anything else. And these adapters can cost a lot of money sometimes. Some of them are as much as $200.
Oh, the adapter?
Correct, just for the adapter, yeah. Okay. Which is insane, but you do have cheaper ones out there.
Do not get your adapter from a dollar store. Get your adapter from a reputable place.
You're really hammering the low cost. I shop there, man.
I mean, I love the dollar store, but there's certain things you just can't get, okay?
Primarily get it from the manufacturer. I know Mercedes-Benz sells theirs, GM sells theirs, Kia sells theirs. I highly recommend using their adapters. That way you know it's going to work. There won't be any question with your vehicle for these adapters. And even if you're not even planning on using the Tesla NACS network, get it anyway, I'm telling you, because you never know when you're going to be out in the middle of no flipping where, because you want to visit that one friend that wants to go have dinner, but she lives way on the other side of the state. You don't know what's out there. There's one last thing that I do want to hit on this, okay? We talked about all the different ways you can charge. And there's one thing that I have not mentioned. There are what's known as destination chargers, okay?
Okay.
And this is one of the reasons why you want the adapter, truth be told, because if your car doesn't fit it, you're going to be out of luck.
SOL.
And so this is what you find at a lot of hotels and a lot of Airbnbs or a lot of, just spots around town. Just randomly, you'll find these things around town. You can look in your app a lot of times to find these. And what they are, they charge at roughly anywhere between 3 and 6 kilowatts. They're not really meant as a supercharger for you to plug in and then hurry up and gas up and go. That's not what these things are for. They're really for you to plug in, stay the night. When you wake up in the morning, you have a full charge, or if you're just going out to have dinner, you plug it in, you get a little bit of a charge. That's really what they're for. Some of them charge, some of them do not charge. Okay, I know this sounds crazy, but...
Oh, charge you money.
Correct.
Okay, you said charge. I said they don't charge, and what's the point of plugging them up? Huh?
Charge you money.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
So they're not all going to charge you money when you plug up at it. So you have free charging in places, okay? Other places, specifically, places where you work sometimes, I've seen ChargePoint put in some chargers where they will charge you not by the kilowatt hour, but by the time you spent charging. Now, if you do the math on this, you say, okay, it's charging at 6 kilowatts. They charge 75 cents per hour. Well, by the time you do the math and you figure out how much you're being charged, at the end of the day, you're getting charged about 11 cents per kilowatt hour on your vehicle when you start doing the math, which is actually pretty reasonable. That's about what you'd be getting charged at home in the off-peak hours. Right. So it's worth seeking these places out and seeing if you can take advantage without wearing out your welcome.
Sir, you didn't eat here. Why are you parked? I need power. Well, you're going to have to do that elsewhere. Like, these are for our customers.
Right. It takes a little bit more work, but I promise you they're around town, and some of them are free. Some of them are really cheap to use. Like I said, you may have them at your workplace. You may have them at your apartment building. I have seen apartment buildings where they offer free charging.
Can you imagine wherever you pay rent at, they're offering free gas? Well, power? I think that's dope. I think that's
why your rent's so high, folks.
That's a great amenity, though.
It is a great amenity.
Yeah.
So now you can go into your parking garage and you can plug up. So if you have not done that, I highly recommend going and check out your apartment building. And you'll be surprised what you've probably missed just by walking around your neighborhood and seeing what they actually have. Ask the association, are there any options? Can they put in any other options? Because let's face it, everything's going to EV, and eventually everybody's going to be on board. And it's going to be like, well, you have a gas station at your home. And eventually, that's going to become a real selling point for a lot of these condos and apartment homes in order to attract people with EVs to say, okay,
right,
we'll give you free charging, or we give you a really great discounted rate on charging.
That'd be nice. I mean, free is amazing. But even if they said, 5 cents, that's still better than 11 cents. As a matter of fact, for an apartment complex, not just say that, an apartment complex, you can't run an extension cord all the way to the parking lot or parking garage. So really, if there's no way to charge outside of the chargers that are outside.
And eventually it's going to become a knife fight when they start running out. I want the free power.
I was here first.
So that's how you charge a vehicle, right? Now, the question becomes, what do you charge it to? Okay, so this is a question that I have seen on the forums over and 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 over again, okay? There's a lot of confusion going on out there about what do you charge your vehicle to? Some people have heard 80%. Oh, I'm supposed to charge it 100%. Okay. Oh, I'm not supposed to get it below 20%. What's the right answer? And it's very frustrating for a lot of folks because you hear all of this disparate information and you honestly don't know what the truth is, but at the same time, you want to be able to take care of your battery. Well, folks, I'm here to give you the answer. Here's the answer, okay? It's actually really simple, believe it or not. Don't complicate it any more than this. Please, 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 please. When you get in your car next time, go into your screen and figure out what kind of battery you have. You have one of two types right now. This is, as of right now, as of today of the filming, in the United States. I understand there's a few others out there. You're either going to have lithium ion,
right,
or lithium iron phosphate, LFP for short.
So lithium ion or LFP?
Correct.
Okay.
Depending on the type of battery that you have will dictate to you which method you should use. Do not cross the methods. Do not try to hybridize them. Use one method or the other. And it's going to be strictly for your battery. Okay, let's start with the lithium ion because that's the most prevalent one out there. That's the one most people have. But if you have a lithium ion and you want to protect your battery against degradation, then you don't want to charge your car to any more than 80% on a daily basis. Yeah. Specifically in Teslas, you can tell if you have it because when you look on your charging screen, it'll say daily and trip, and that daily will end right at the 80%. So you don't even have to guess. That's your answer. Okay.
Period.
All right. Okay.
Lithium ion, 80%.
If you have lithium iron phosphate, LFP batteries,
right,
you can charge it 80% on a daily basis, but at least once a week, charge it to 100%.
Okay. At least once a week.
At least
100%.
100%.
Okay.
Whichever one you have, that is the schedule you follow. Okay. That's the long, very long version, Sharp, because we can be up here for another 2-3 hours talking about batteries and battery degradation and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. The other question I get quite a bit is, well, if I leave, should I leave it at 100%? Should I leave it at 80%? And quite frankly, the real answer to all of this is, for both of them, is if you're going to leave for like a week and you're going to let the car sit, I would let it sit anywhere between 30 and 50%.
Okay.
Okay. Do your best not to let this car drop below 20%. It does not like that, okay? You will wear out your battery a lot more. Avoid these big charges from like 10% to 90%. Avoid that. Ideally, I would rather see you do 10% charges. Do it like from 50 to 60, 50 to 60, 50 to 60. That's a lot better than doing 10 to 90 in one shot. Okay, we call that depth of charge. Okay, you want a whole bunch of little small charges. That's what's going to save your battery over time. Maintaining the schedule that we just talked about on those two different types of batteries will maintain your battery over time. So please, if you have to write it down, placard it on the inside of your vehicle, do something.
Or watch this video over and over and over again so that we can get the views.
Or that. I appreciate that, guys. That's going to be your short answer. I know somebody out there, once again, somebody's going to have a load of stuff to say in the comments about what I just said. I do realize there are alternate methods of doing some of this stuff, but this is the easiest and the most prevalent one, and the one that's supported by the manufacturers. So I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions. This is what supports the manufacturers. The 80%, believe it or not, is actually a compromise between range and battery degradation, according to Tesla. Okay, they have people that study this. They've done studies. Ideally, this is me. This is just me. Ideally, you keep the charge lower between the 50 and 70% neighborhood for true battery degradation to really, eke out every last percentage for every last year.
Yeah.
But 80 is the one that's practical for most folks because they're going to drive 50 miles a day, things of that nature. That's it for now. Let me know what you think of the video. Tell me how you guys are doing it. Let me know if this actually helped you. Don't forget to tell me what y'all want to see, because we try to do these things really for the beginner EV owners or potential EV owners, because once again, we know there's a lot of disinformation out there, and we've done our best to clear it up for you guys.
Absolutely.
Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe and hype us up, man.
Yes. And hit the notification bell.
Yeah, absolutely. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
So look in the description below to see how you can get some great discounts. They are for real discounts now on Tesla mods. Like and subscribe. We'll talk to you again soon. Peace.